Do you struggle with tossing and turning in the middle of the night? Do you feel drowsy and like you're just dragging through the day? Or do you have problems with waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to fall back asleep again for an hour or even more? And throughout the day, you often forget things like what you're doing or key information and just never seem to be able to find your perfect sleep. Well, if the answer to any of these questions is yes, then this webinar is meant for you. Hi, my name is Bethany Garcia, and I am an entry-level occupational therapy doctoral student at Texas Women's University. And I am dedicated to helping individuals obtain quality sleep. This webinar is meant for adults age 60 and older, but it does hold valuable information for all age groups. After watching this webinar, you will have learned key sleep information about the sleep cycles. You'll be able to identify what problems that you're facing and be able to implement strategies in your daily life in order to help you obtain better sleep. We will cover the basic foundations of sleep and aging's effects on sleep, pain and its effects on sleep, the importance of our sleep environments and practices, mental well-being as a building block for sleep, and how to sustain sleep progress. This video will cover key terms, sleep stages and processes, the effects of aging on sleep, and sleep's impact on daily life. It is important that we understand this now so that way we can have a better understanding of our sleep problems as we talk about them in later videos. So let's talk first, why should I even study sleep? In developed countries, more than 1 in 3 adults frequently fail to achieve the recommended 7 to 9 hours of sleep duration per night. In addition, the CDC has declared sleep deprivation as a public health epidemic. So clearly there is a problem here. This is very important to consider whenever we're looking at sleep's impact on different health problems, such as poor sleep increases inactivity and fatigue, depressed mood, anxiety, and even memory difficulties. Sleep is also one of the key factors associated with high-level wellness. What does high-level wellness mean? Well, essentially, it means being able to do more for yourself for longer. So our key components here are independence and improved quality of life. To protect yourself as you age, it may be time to learn more about why you're experiencing the problems that you are and what you can do to fix them. The first step is to understand what we are aiming for. So what is healthy sleep? Healthy sleep includes both the physical and mental components and is not just about interrupted sleep. The National Sleep Foundation is actually very helpful, and it gives us 4 key determinants to assess the quality of our sleep. The first is sleep latency. How long does it take me to fall asleep? So we should not be lying in bed for longer than 30 minutes before we're able to get to sleep. If you're in bed for an hour or 2 hours before you can actually get some shut-eye, there is clearly a problem here. The second is awakenings. So how many times am I waking up per night? And wake after sleep onset is the third. And this means once I have awoken in the middle of the night, how long does it take me to fall back asleep again? Fourth is sleep efficiency. And essentially what this means is out of the total time that I'm in bed, how much of that is actually spent sleeping. For us to have the best results in sleep progress following this webinar, we must first understand the sleep cycle and what it looks like.
The sleep cycle consists of 4 different stages of sleep: 3 non-rapid eye movement or NREM stages of sleep, and 1 rapid eye movement or REM stage of sleep.
Non-rapid eye movement stage 1 is the lightest sleep that we'll have.
During this phase, our muscles are relaxed, but we still have some tension and our breathing is regular. This stage typically lasts between 1 to 5 minutes on average, and it takes up about 5% of our total sleep time.
The second is stage 2 or N2.
This is a deeper sleep. During this stage, the heart rate and body temperature drop, and this phase is also characterized by the presence of 2 structures that are important for sleep. As you can see with our character on screen, she is in N2 stage of sleep. This phase is characterized by the presence of sleep spindles, which are brain waves that are important for memory, specifically the types of memory that allow us to recall how to execute different tasks as well as recall of facts and events. Another important brain wave is present during this phase, which are called K complexes. These help us to maintain sleep and play a role in memory consolidation.
This sleep stage averages about 25 minutes for the first cycle, and it lengthens with each following cycle, accounting for 45% of our overall sleep time. The third is N3 or stage 3, which is the deepest sleep.
And it accounts for about 25% of our total sleep time. This is where the body repairs and regrows tissues, builds bones and muscles, and strengthens the immune system.
The fourth stage is rapid eye movement or REM sleep.
REM sleep usually starts 90 minutes after each sleep state. The first cycle typically lasts 10 minutes, with the last lasting up to an hour, and it makes 25% of total sleep time. During this stage, the skeletal muscles have no movement except for the eye and diaphragmatic muscles. There is increased oxygen use from the brain and variable pulse and blood pressure. Increased oxygen use from the brain is due to the brain being highly active during REM, as its metabolism increases by up to 20%. REM is associated with dreaming, and people tend to wake more spontaneously during this stage, as it is not considered to be a restful stage.
So, whenever we're thinking about these four different sleep stages, it's important to note that a person actually progresses through these stages 4 to 6 times a night, with each cycle lasting about 90 minutes on average. The way that we're able to progress smoothly through these stages and uninterrupted is where we get that feeling of being well rested in the morning. This is important because it really makes us look at the functions of each stage and how they all serve us, not just one more than the other. So, what powers us to achieve these four sleep stages? Well, whether we're aware of it or not, there are two processes working continually day and night that help us to regulate our sleep.
The first is the homeostatic process, or sleep pressure, which we can think of as our desire to sleep that builds up all day and is relieved at the end of the day when we get into bed and go to sleep. The second is the circadian process, which consists of two parts: awake propensity, which increases during the day and reaches its max during the evening which is when we fall asleep, and then a sleep propensity that increases during the night and reaches its max during the morning hours, which causes us to wake up.
These two processes are responsible for maintaining our sleep episodes of 8 hours and then our typical 16 hours of wakefulness. Keep in mind, these are about on average. And as we age, these processes may be affected together or they may be affected individually. Age related changes in the circadian rhythms occur as early as the middle years of life, with over 35% of the population in their 40s to 60s reporting sleep difficulties. Multiple factors, including health problems, side effects, and sleep disorders, account for the age related increase in sleep difficulties. However, critical changes in the sleep wake cycle are also observed in normal healthy aging. These start pretty early in adulthood, and there's a noticeable difference between your 20s to your 60s. Age is associated with less time asleep and more frequent awakenings of longer duration, especially in the second part of the night. This is due to the loss of certain sleep wake regulatory neurons, which play a major role in promoting this and stabilizing the wake state. We also have increased vulnerability to disrupted and shortened wake and sleep periods. Older adults experience heightened sensitivity to stress hormones, auditory stimulation, and high doses of caffeine. The stages of sleep most affected by the aging process are N3, which keep in mind is our deepest stage of sleep and the one where tissue repair and immune system strengthening happens. So this stage is significantly reduced, and instead we experience increases in the N1 and N2 stages of sleep, which are our lighter stages. We also spend less time in REM sleep. Whenever we're thinking about this, there's also gender differences that happen as we age. So, lower levels of testosterone are actually associated with reduced sleep efficiency, um, increased time awake after sleep onset, and the decreased number of REM sleep episodes as well. They also contribute to lengthened time to reach the REM sleep period. In women, 40 to 60% of women in menopausal transition complain of sleep issues. They report fragmented sleep, difficulties falling asleep, nighttime wakefulness, and inability to resume sleep compared to premenopausal years. And they also have higher levels of follicle stimulating hormone, which is associated with more wakefulness in general. Therefore, since we're already having these bodily changes, it's important to consider how we can use our environment and our sleep practices to help us achieve our sleep goals. Although all of these realities exist, that does not mean sleep is doomed as you age. Instead, there are several protective factors that we will go over in this webinar and that you can start implementing now in order to get the sleep that you deserve. Strengthening sleep is one of the most powerful ways to enhance overall well being, leading to greater fulfillment in everyday life and better health. Quality sleep improves mind, focus, and energy, making daily tasks feel more manageable and enjoyable. It also supports emotional resilience, which allows you to maintain those positive relationships in your life. And physically, good sleep strengthens the immune system, promotes heart health, muscle recovery, and keeps the body strong and functioning optimally. Whenever we prioritize restful, uninterrupted sleep, we wake up more refreshed, more motivated, and better equipped to pursue our goals, leading to improved participation and control of your life. So, let's continue to progress in this webinar together and to understand what we can do in order to help you reach your sleep goals.